Hey, what's going on, everybody? I want to be walking you through the Tevis ABS brake system that was equipped on a lot of Buicks back in the 80s. It's kind of a complicated system, so I thought I'd walk you guys through it on how to swap it out because I couldn't find anything on it. So here we go. First thing you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to pump the brake pedal down there 25 times because that will relieve pressure off the accumulator. You know, you don't want things exploding in your face. So you come over here. Let me grab this because you guys will need to see this as well. Let's come over here. So this is a 1989, and right now I am trying to fit a 1988 version on it. So as you can see, the 1989 and ahead, it comes with one of these. This is instead of this banjo fitting, they use this metal line. I'm sure you can retrofit it to fit a pump, to accommodate a pump from an 89 onto an 88. I'm going to look into that because I have an 89 and an 88. So the first thing you're going to do after you pump the brakes, it even will tell you sometimes right here, this is the accumulator. It has a lot of pressure, I think 2,600 PSI in it right there. It's already starting to fall apart. I semi took it apart already, so I'm just going to walk you through this really quickly. Let me see if I can position the camera like right here. This is the Tevis ABS system right here. You can see the pump with the actuator, the master cylinder. You have some kind of, I don't know, like pressure actuator on the back over here that the lines connect through. And then you have the tank and this. You have a lot of connectors. You can just remove these connectors normally. It comes with a negative too, so, you know, practice safety here. Not safety, but, you know, not losing your stuff, because I've already lost one of these bolts. Just, you can see it right there. Just leave it in. Leave it in, makes it easy. Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to unscrew this right here. I already unscrewed it. It's a 15 on here, so you're going to want to make sure that you do it. It's a banjo fitting right there, you can see, and I don't know if you could see that right there, but I got a lot of O-rings on there. I'm starting to learn that O-rings are your friend. Okay, so then what you do is that you take this off right here. You unscrew it. This is, I think, a 12. Then once you pull this out right there, also one more thing here, I don't know if you can tell, in the back right over there, there is a hose that is it sends the fluid back into the reservoir right here. I don't recommend pulling that off. You're going to break your reservoir tip, so just put a little slit in it and just pull it right off. That makes it the easiest. So then you pull this off right here. Okay, what you're going to want to do is that remove a panel, this panel right here. It sits right up top. There's a little light that is attached to right there. Twist it. Twist and pull out so you don't tear it up, because it's right there, or right there. Okay, so next what you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to unbolt this. You'll see it sitting right up top. Just 10 millimeter bolts, 2 of them, put them to the side. Next, you're going to want to come underneath here, and then right over there, you see those 4 bolts. You're going to want to remove them. So I'm going to remove them right now, and then I'll show you how to remove the brake pedal, because as you can see, it's right up there, and it's really hard to deal with. All right. Once you remove this guy, you know, him, you're going to have a lot of access to right over here. Those lines right underneath. I recommend getting some flare wrenches. They're metric, not SAE, metric. The Tevis is metric. And what I ended up doing is I wanted to cheap out on the flare wrenches, so I was like, oh, I'll just use regular wrench. And so then I started grabbing it and twisting it, and I twisted this bottom one that is right underneath this guy right here. So I'm going to block it. I started twisting this guy who's underneath right here, yeah, and then they just snapped. So then I had to solder some new lines in right there, and they started leaking immediately. So it's all bad. So I recommend buying some flare wrenches. $16.99 at Harbor Freight. You know, you won't regret it. I'm showing you this position because I'm about to lay on my back right here. So you get down. Oh, you stick your arm back. This is the only way I found out. You know, I don't want to be on my knees and whatnot. But you get underneath here. Let me see here. And then, oh man. Make sure it's on loose. I've done that before. Now my forearms are on fire from doing that, and my hands are pretty cut up over this whole process. There's going to be some old guy out there who's going to be like, you need to wear gloves, or you need to remove the entire dash and waste your whole weekend doing that. No, I got class and work on Monday. I ain't doing that. So as you can see, I put it right there just so you guys can see how I get access to it. That little wrench. So yeah, you're going to have to really just go for it. It is a challenge, but it's possible. It really is possible. It's just awkward, you know? It's not hard, it's awkward. Okay, I removed those 4 bolts. It is a pain in the butt, to be honest, but hey, do what we gotta do. This is the underview. So this is the boot right here that's connected to the motor, and this is the pedal. Use a little bit of lever connecting from right here to right there, and just kind of like push it up like that, you know? You might want to pull out the motor a little bit beyond those these right here, just so it can give it a little bit more room and access. This is my second time doing this, like I said. So there's a little pin in here, right here. You can just pull it out. I just use some metal safety wire just to get this thing inside of there. Let me see if I can pull it out. Let me see here. Okay. All right, so then, yeah, you just pull it out, and then it should give you some access here. Oh, you guys have to watch me do this whole thing. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. At least it's more streamlined now. Okay, and then you pull it up right there, and then try to pull it out. I figure if it stays in there pretty good. There we go. There we go. Now the pedal is disconnected. All right. And now with those bolts removed and the pedal taken off of that pivot, you can just go ahead and pull this right on out. It should come out pretty easily. There's going to be fluid dropping, so just keep that in mind. Let me see where it's... Oh, it's these lines underneath that are snagging. Okay, so then just move them out of the way. There we go. And then you got yourself an entire ABS unit right there. As you can see here, this is where the brake lines fit into this. Number one, I can pull on this up and down. This wiggles back and forth, kind of, as you can see here. And so brake fluid's going to leak out of there, of course, you know. Right here, it doesn't even screw in straight. I'm afraid I stripped it. So I'm not even going to bother using this unit. I'm going to show you how to take it off. This one right here, brake fluid flows downward right here and then back up. That forces against gravity. You shouldn't do that. It should be just really smooth from what I read. And this one, I did fine taking apart this one. So it's fine. I didn't strip it or nothing like that. So I have another one of these right here. I'm afraid I stripped it. This one is from my old one. This is from a junkyard I got in Monrovia off an 88 Reatta. And so I'm going to put this one on just because I'm afraid I stripped it and I know this one works. Okay, so this is the old one. I took it off. It sits on 3 of these bolts right here. You can see it. You're going to have to lift up this with a little pry. Just undo this bolt so you can then remove this right here. It's connected there. You know, you remove that, this whole thing comes up. You know. So far I put on some new lines, as you can see right here, with these compression fittings that I'm going to put on right there to splice the new brake line in. You don't have to flare it. It's called a compression fitting because when you tighten it up, there's a little nut on the inside. I wonder if I can unscrew this one for you so you guys can see. Here we go. Yeah, there's a little nut on the inside of this thing that squeezes it so it seals itself, so you don't have to flare stuff. So yeah, no flare needed. Don't need to buy the kit. Anyway, so I put this new one on right there. I've scrubbed this thing as many times as I can. I gave up cleaning it. And then that's it right there. I'm going to go install this on the car and put the new compression fittings. I'm not going to put them right here yet because, here, let me open this up and you can see it. Like right there. Okay. So this is the compression fitting. They're about $2.99 at your local auto parts store. This part gets put on right here. Or, you put this on first. Right there. Boom. Like that. Then you put this piece on right on top of it. And then what ends up happening is that when you tighten this piece on it, right there, and you seal it, I completely missed that. So when you put this piece on it right there, put this up, you put this piece on it, and then you start twisting it together, what's going to end up happening is that it's going to compress itself and seal itself. Now that we did that, We can put it back inside, which I did right here. It's not bolted in, it's just kind of sitting inside. You can see down here with the new lines I put in right there, and they're off to the side right here. Let me see here. Yeah, you can see them, they're wiggling around. And these are the old line connectors right there. I did it this way so you can measure it, so you know. And you can always cut some off, but you can never add some. So you're just going to want to do that. And then you're going to want to use this tool right here from Harbor Freight and just clean up the lines that you cut earlier, because I cut those with pliers. You know, if you wanted to be smooth or if you wanted to be clean, you could have just cut them with this thing right away, but I was just frustrated, so I just clipped them, and I was like, I'll do it. Back inside of here, you can see this. Tighten this as tight as it can go. You know, use 2 wrenches right here. You got to crank them in off at the opposite directions. The one right here is a flare wrench, and this is just, what is this? This is a 3/8. So yeah, like I said, the TVIS system is metric, but all the fittings you're going to find are going to be SAE. So it kind of sucks when you have to buy a wrench kit and you got to buy both, you know? But that's pretty much it. Okay, now let me see if my light works here. My new lines are, I got the new fittings on there, nice and tight. You could see here, like I said, this one I didn't do anything to. It was fine, so that one's just a plug and play. The firewall right there, you know, everything works. Everything's good to go so far. So yeah, I'm just going to plug him in, trimmed him up, so he's good to go. Just so you guys can see, I put it back inside. I'm taking it in and out, slowly trimming off the lines as little as possible, just so I can make sure that this fitment is 100% tight, because I really don't want to have to do this again. I'm not going to tighten it and secure it until this is bolted in and I have the brake pedal all attached again, because I don't want to bend these or kink these, because I got to move this around while I try to attach the brake pedal. Okay, so I bolted it back in. I recommend when you're installing it back again to input the pedal back onto the little pivot on it. Use a file, you know, file it if you have to make it fit. Just do what you got to do. But it is bolted and it is secure as can be. You know, this thing ain't going anywhere.